Today we got a story time with this Minecraft kid that refuses to shower, and let's just say you can definitely, smell it. Leave a like in the video to claim your free nothing, and let's call the subscriber today Steven. Anyways, right, so there's a new kid in Steven's neighborhood, and Steven's mom called him down. He said, "Hey, Steven, like, I hope you're not doing anything today," which, I mean, what was Steven gonna be doing today? I mean, he was, like, in 5th grade. It's not like he has a life or anything. His mom has to decide everything he does. So, Steven was like, I don't really have anything to do today, because, like, you plan my days. And Steven's mom went on to say, well, there's a new kid in town, Steven. I think it would be really great if you and your friends went and hung out with him. And Steven was like, okay. Steven was all optimistic, wanting to know what this, who this new kid was, what he was like. Maybe he's a really cool guy. Maybe he showered, once a week at a minimum. I don't know, man. Maybe he was like that. Or maybe he was like the kid, maybe he was like the, you'll see. Anyways, right, so, a kind of a play date was scheduled, between the moms of Steven and the new kid and some other of Steven's friends in the neighborhood. So on, like, that Saturday, Steven and his friends, they meet at Steven's house, and they decide to walk over to the new kid's house. And, they walk over and they get there, and the new kid is not greeting them. He's not outside. Actually, in fact, when Steven and his friends get to the door, the new kid's mom greets them and says, "Oh, guys, thank you so much for coming over. I'm sure that," let's call him Brian. "Oh, Brian is so excited to see you guys. Like, I think you guys are going to be really close friends." Yeah, it turns out that they're not going to be close friends, but anyways. Brian, he's actually upstairs right now. He's in the middle of, like, a Minecraft game. That's what he was telling me. And I really wanted him to come down and greet you guys. But I think you kids know the video games and such. So you can just go upstairs and it's your first left and go into the room. You don't even have to knock. He's not going to care. So, right, Steven was a little kind of weirded out that, like, this kid, I don't know, new kids were coming over to greet him. And he told his mom that he was going to be in the middle of a Minecraft game. So just to send them up. I don't know, man, that's just a little weird, just kind of a weird way to start things off. But anyway, Steven and Steven's pals that also came to meet the new kid, they were still determined to get to know him. They were, enthusiastic to maybe make a new friend today. So anyways, right, Steven and his friends, they walk up the stairs, and as they approach the door on the left, they see this kid's room, and they see the door, and Steven puts his hand, on the doorknob, opens it up, and it's like the second he opens up this door, dude, it's like a shockwave bursts out, hits them all in the face. However, this is not a shockwave of, like, air. This is not a shockwave of, like, sound or anything. This is not a ballistic missile, even though it feels like that on his, on his nose, bro. But this is a kind of a shock of stench, bro. When they opened up this room, like, it was like Steven was trying to be polite. His friends were trying to be polite. But they almost gagged, bro. Just the smell that came out of this room. Because, look, you can go nose blind to some smells. But Steven says that there's no way you can go nose blind to this. I mean, like, it was almost as if this room had never been opened up in, like, years, bro. Like, that's how bad it was. It was like something in there was dying and fermenting and turning into compost. I'm trying to give you as descriptive as possible, like, what this room smelled like. But eventually, Steven heard Brian, the new kid in the neighborhood, call in from inside the room. He's like, "Hey, guys, you can come into my room. Don't be shy." And so Steven's, like, already in his head, he's like, I don't think we're going to be boys just by the smell of his room. Like, no disrespect, but I don't think I can, like, physically take this every day. But sure, I'll go in. I'll give him benefit of the doubt. Even and his friends, they enter the room, and they sit down, and, Brian introduces himself. He's like, "Hey, guys, I'm Brian. I'm new. I like to play a lot of Minecraft and League of Legends. What about you guys?" And so Steven is kind of just sitting there like, bro, this kid. Like, okay, be nice, Steven. Be nice, Steven. You don't know. Steven's like, "Hi, my name is Steven. These are my friends, Ben and Ben too." That wasn't actually their names. I'm just too lazy to come up with real names. And Steven's like, "We've been living here for a while. Like, I don't know, we like to play we play football right on the weekends if you ever want to join with that." Brian immediately said, "I don't like sports." And Steven's like, "Okay." And here's the thing, dude. I'm not good at basketball. I'm terrible at football. You know, I play tennis, but like, I don't know if that's not in the same kind of like category. So I get it. However, if someone's like, "Hey, do you want to play football?" I might be like, "I appreciate it, but maybe no." I wouldn't be like, "I don't play sports." So anyways, right, Steven and his friends are kind of just sitting there, and Steven's like, all right, how do I salvage this situation? It's kind of weird right now. It's kind of strange. It's a little bit awkward. I got to step in. I got to save this kid from himself, bro. I got to save this conversation before it totally goes off the deep end. And before Steven is able to save this, before Steven is even able to utter another word, bro, this kid, bro, Brian, out of the blue is just like, hey guys, you want to hear something cool? And Steven's like, all right, like, okay, if you want to change this conversation, maybe you have a hidden talent, maybe you have a hidden, I don't know, maybe your grandfather was like, I don't know, friends with JFK. I don't know, dude, like maybe you got something cool to save this conversation. And Brian goes, you want to hear something really funny? Dude, I'm kind of proud of myself about this. And they're all like, all right. And Brian's like, dude, my mom keeps telling me I need to shower or something, and every single time she says so, I walk into the bathroom, I turn on the shower, and then I just sit there watching YouTube videos, and I never actually shower. I also wet my hair so that I trick her, and every single time she gets tricked and fooled by me. Isn't she she's so stupid, dude. And at this point, like, Brian is like, all right, two things. First, this explains the smell. Second of all, what the fuck? So Brian and his friends are just looking at Steven, and I mean, what do they say to that? Like, what do they say to that? But Brian, realizing that either his friends are going to be awkward and not say anything, or they're going to say something really out of pocket that's going to make it even more awkward, Brian decides to step in and be like, oh, dude, haha, that's so funny, you totally got her. And immediately after saying that, Brian, like, looks down at his phone, texts his friends, because they're all in, like, a group chat or whatever, and is like, dude, or like, boys, we got to get out of here, bro. I can't handle this anymore. And all the other 2 or 3 of them that were with them, like, look down, text back, and like, yeah, we got to get out of here. Let's hatch an escape plan. And as they're typing this, you know, Steven is like, are you guys in a group chat? Hey, can I be added to the group chat? I got lots of memes to send. I will send you some of the greatest TikToks you've ever seen. At this point, Brian's like, yeah, I got you. Let me just add you. And Brian quickly makes another group chat and titles it like the real group chat or something. It's not actually, it's like the secondary one, and adds him. And then like Steven's like, oh, well, this is very cool. Anyways, guys, I was wondering if you wanted to have a full-on sleepover tonight. And at this point, Brian, look, he wanted to be respectful, but he was afraid he was gonna contract some kind of disease if he stayed in that room for too long. So he wasn't about to do that. And eventually, it comes to Steven. He knows how he's going to get them out of this. By the way, I think I've been flip-flopping Brian and Steven. I hope you've been able to follow either way. I hope. I'm sorry, I'm not very smart. Anyway, Steven looks at Brian. He's like, dude, I would totally 100,000 billion% want to go to a sleepover, and I think all my boys would too. We just can't tonight because, dude, we have like a crazy early morning game because we're in a... and he looks at his friends, and his friends are like, and his friend's like, football league. And, you know, Steven's like, yeah, dude, we're in a football league. And at this point, like, Brian's like, oh, in January? He's like, yeah, it's indoor football. And then Brian's like, oh, well, I mean, that's okay, I understand. But, oh, maybe I could go to the game. And Steven's like, it's really far away. And, you know, Steven's like, oh, well, I can just, you know, I'll just fit in the car if there's room. And Steven's like, nope, there's no room. I'm sorry, we're really packed. And Brian's like, oh, okay then. And Steven was like, oh, look at the time. I think we got to go as well. And Brian's like, okay, I guess I'll see you guys around. And you know, Steven and his friends, they were walking out. And Steven's like, see you later. His other friend's like, bye, see you later. And then his last friend's like, bye, smell you later. I see you later. And Steven turns to look at his friend and just gives him this face of like, we are so close to being out of here. Don't mess this up for us. But thankfully, right, Brian wasn't even paying attention to them. He was already loading up some like League of Legends game. Like at the point that they got up, he just completely tuned out and went back to his games. At this point, right, Steven and his friends, they're walking out of the house. And Brian's mom's like, goodbye, guys. Hope to see you soon. And Steven is just looking at his friends like, hey, I don't think this is necessary. This kid is not necessarily a bad guy, but bro, we can never come back here. And his friends are just like, yeah,